everyone. Welcome to episode 11 of the How to Grow on TikTok podcast. I'm here with McKenna Bailie from TikTok. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. So why don't you introduce yourself and share your username before we get into the questions?
Okay, so as she said, I'm McKenna Bailie, and my username on TikTok is Kenna Acting. I do a lot of acting videos, so that's about it.
So I'm curious to know, when did you start your TikTok account, your acting account, or did you have a different account before?
Yeah, I had a different account before that I just posted a lot of random stuff on. That was probably summer of 2019. And then I got this account at the beginning of quarantine. So like a couple months ago, like 3 months maybe. So it hasn't been up for that long.
Okay,
Probably
so did quarantine make you get it, like re-get it?
I was like, I'm going to have nothing to do. So at least we're going to start. This was something creative for me to do because I was stuck in my house.
So what were your first few videos like on your account? Just to mention, by the way, you have right now, as we're speaking, you have 79.9 thousand followers. That is incredible. When you started your account, like, were you expecting that? Were you just having fun?
I was not expecting it. I made the account so that I felt like my acting videos were like kind of cringy and I didn't want my friends to see them. So I made a different account and I was like, this way no one will see them. It's just for me. And the first few videos got like 10 views maybe. So I had no idea that people were actually going to watch them. And I'm still kind of baffled.
I mean, I love your videos. So I know you left a comment on one of my videos, but when did you come across my account? I'm curious to know when and how.
It was in the first couple weeks, I think. I just saw you on the For You page and I think you were live at the time. So I joined your live stream and I asked you, I don't remember what I asked you, but I asked you a question and I was very like excited that you answered because I'm like, whoa, she's famous, she's talking to me.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think that's when I followed you, but it was pretty early on, definitely. I only had like a couple hundred at the time.
Right. So when I'm curious to see, because I'm like looking through your account now, and when did your views go from like, your normal views that you were consistently having to like, what was your first video that started to take off? Do you remember?
I had one that was okay, there was one that got like 32,000, which to me was like insane. But the one that really took off, it was one of the videos about, so I do like POVs for those of you that don't know. They're just little acting videos. It was one about, I don't even remember, but the issue was in the video I made a typo and I spelled poison the wrong way. And for some reason, people thought that was so funny. So I got thousands of comments on that, making fun of my typo, which at the time was slightly mortifying. But that's sort of what made my account like start to grow. And that was when it got over 100,000 views, which was insane.
Yeah.
I was not used to that. So after that, they started to get a little bit more. I've had periods of time where they don't get a lot, but recently they've been doing pretty good as well.
Yeah. So I just have a question. I'm curious. So if you noticed that you spelling like it was a typo, you didn't mean to do that. Did you ever in future videos like purposely spell something wrong to try to replicate that?
No, because it was so embarrassing. And I wanted to take the video down, but then part of your account was like, never take your videos down. And it was the only video that was doing good. And I was like, okay, like it's embarrassing, but I'll keep it up. Because the rest of the video was kind of cool. And then after that, it was I do series as well. So like part 1, part 2 of different storylines. It was one that really helped my account was the series, I don't know if you've seen it, where I was like becoming a princess. I had like 5 parts of that, and that was my first video. It got 500,000 views. So I think it was from the misspelling that sort of like shot my account up, which was weird but cool.
Yeah, I see that series that you have on your account. Like one has like 698,000 views. That's
Yeah.
the first one you said that that got over 500,000.
Yeah, that was the first one, was that princess video of mine.
It's funny because I'm scrolling through your account and the video that you did with the eyes, I don't know if you like check your views recently or not, but that one's like an older video, but it has
Oh,
7,000 now.
that was the one that came, I think, right before the typo one that was at like 32,000. And it was at that point that I'm like, well, we're getting big. But yeah,
So
I like that one. That was cool.
yeah, I like that one as well. So how do you get like your inspiration for your videos? Because your videos are like very creative. They're not necessarily the trends. You're welcome.
Well, some of them I do base off of trends. Lots of them I base off of like if I've read a book or a movie recently, and then I take a little scene that I like and I'd be like, oh, it'd be cool if we twisted it like this. Some of them, I have a lot of followers actually send me in ideas, which is fun. On my live streams, they'll send me ideas. And some of them just pop into my head and I'm like, I have to write that down fast.
That's awesome. So you're definitely like writing down your ideas. That's actually really cool that
Yes.
you get suggestions from your followers. Like they're involved in your, I guess,
They
your
get
content.
very excited. Like when I use one of theirs and I'll tag them, they'll be like, oh my goodness, she used my idea. It's very exciting.
Oh wow! So if you tag them, like you write down their username and everything, like you remember who asked you to do that one?
If I get one I really like during a live stream, I'll screenshot it and then I just have their username with me. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome. So I'm curious to know if you remember which video of yours, because I think you have a few. Which video of yours was your first video that got over 1 million views?
It was the video, the one where whatever your soulmate loses ends up in your possession. That was the first one to get over 1 million. And that was like probably about a week ago, actually. That was not very long ago. And then I just barely had one get 1.5 million. Yeah, I meant to say million. I think I said thousand before.
Yeah, the one you posted 2 days ago, that one already has 1 million.
Yeah.
1.5 million. So I'm just curious, like, do you have your notifications on your phone or have you turned them off?
They're still on.
Oh my goodness.
Because I don't know, I find it exciting when I put my phone down and I pick it up and I'm like, whoa, like it just makes me happy. I don't know at what point I will go turn them off though, but I also like to see, that's how I like to respond to as many comments and like duets as I can. And if I let it go for too long without checking, I'll miss a duet. And I hate to miss them because people try so hard and they get so excited. So I like to keep up to date on what people are doing.
That's awesome. That's actually really cute. I did not realize I turned off my notifications a while ago.
Oh, smart.
Just because I was starting to get some rude comments. Have
Oh.
you experienced that at all?
Like 99% of my comments are so nice. I've gotten a couple that I just like have been like hate comments and I had to go through and just delete. But for the most part, people are really nice.
And I think that's the thing too. I think everyone gets some rude comment once in a while here and there.
Never been like excessive though. It's been like one person every couple of days. Like I haven't had a video that's just gotten like a lot of hate, which has been really nice. And I know I'm lucky for that.
That's good. So I noticed on your I cannot remember the exact video, but there's one video of yours that I think it goes along to like the Matilda song.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
like you have two prompts on the screen and you have to like look at them and then you pick an option, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's like your childhood self picking.
Oh, yeah. That one blew up pretty big, I think. I have two parts of that. They're spread out a little bit though.
So what like how did you come up with that idea in particular?
That idea I think was a trend, and I believe I tagged the original in there, or I think someone did in the comments. But that one, I'm not positive who did it first, but that one around the POV community had been a trend for a little bit. So that one I didn't come up with.
Okay.
I like to take the trends and just sort of put your own spin on it.
That's
so
good. Yeah, you add your creativity to it. And then, oops, sorry. Yeah, and you said you have like two parts for that. So you noticed that like it did well on your account, so you did it again, right?
Yeah, I never make two, like I never go into a video like planning to make a part two, because if it doesn't do well and I post a part two and part two does well, people are just going to be really confused. So I always like to wait and see how part one does and see if people want a part two, and then I'll like consider making one.
Right. So I earlier in the conversation you said you started this account because you wanted to share your acting videos and you didn't want your friends and other people to see it. Now you have, like I said, 79.9 thousand followers, and I
Yeah.
feel like by the time this is published you're going to have even more. How has that been? Do your friends
Um,
follow you? Do they know you're on TikTok? Does your family know?
Yes, my family, that's all I ever talk about now. I'm just so excited about it. Um, and my friends do know, because it was just recently I started cross promoting to my Instagram. So that's sort of when they found out, and I'll have people text me and they'll be like, "Whoa, like you're big on TikTok now?" I'll be like, "Yeah." It's exciting. Most people are really sweet about it though. So,
That's awesome. So, I want to know a little bit about like your background in acting. Like, do you have a background in acting, or are you just like interested in it?
yeah, so I've been interested in acting for a long time. I did my first play when I was like 4, and then I took a break for a while, and then it was in 7th grade, I believe. So I was 12. I took my first real theater class, and I've taken them every year since then, and I'm majoring in theater in college. So I've been doing it, like, it feels like my whole life. It's
That's
all been
awesome.
like it's all been on the stage though. I've never done any like film stuff, so it's interesting to be more in front of a camera now. So that's cool.
That is really cool. What have been some of like your favorite things that you've done on the stage in your life?
Okay, so I have two of my favorite shows that I've done. One was little over a year ago. I got to be the lead in my high school play, which was crazy because before that I had only ever been ensemble. So in Peter and the Starcatcher, I got to play the lead role of Molly, and I am obsessed with that show. So that was exciting. And then my other favorite show that I did was the summer after that. I got to play JoJo in Newsies, which was super fun because I got to learn how to tap dance, which
Oh
was
wow.
amazing. So and there was a lot of like, Newsies has a lot of like flips and tricks and stuff. So I had people flipping me upside down, and so that was super fun. So I think those are my top two favorites.
So you learned how to tap dance for it, like you'd never done it before? Oh my gosh.
I set up I got like a plywood and put it in my garage, and I spent hours out there learning to tap dance from a YouTube video.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So, do you find like what would you say like the main differences are from, being doing acting like in a group on a stage versus where you're kind of given your lines, you're given the script versus
Mhm.
now you're the creator on your TikTok account and you're the star of the show, but you're also editing, you're also filming. Like, do you have people help you film? Like, what are the differences and what's your process like?
It's very different, primarily because I get like all the creative freedom, like I get to pick everything, but it's also weird because I do have to come up with the ideas, which I never had to do before. Like I come up with the dialogue, which I don't really say, but it's in the stickers and stuff. And then I just set up my phone and I'll film it by myself. I'll occasionally have someone help me with filming or pre-production, like my sisters will help me do makeup, like that kind of stuff. But it's interesting because you're more in charge of every single aspect, where in regular theater, like I'm an actor and that's it. Now I'm acting, directing, filming, like it's all the stuff, and I kind of love it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, do you find it overwhelming or like exciting?
It's so fun. I love it. I love being in charge of all the editing, and like it's just so cool to have that all like in my control to be able to do all of that.
Yeah. So I have a question. It's kind of going down a different route, but have you ever reposted any of your videos on your account? Or do you do all like original, like all new videos?
The only reposts I've ever done were from my super old account to the new one. Those were my very first ones that I had already posted before, but that was before anything mattered. So, but ever since then, I don't think I've reposted any videos. Because I
Okay.
just like to put out like new content because people who follow me will be like, I've already seen that. So
Yeah. And you have like a really large following, so I'm sure people are coming through and watching multiple of your videos. So, like, have you, I know we've kind of talked briefly about it with the cookies, but have you, and you can kind of go more into that, but have you had anything like cool happen as a result of your account?
yeah, so yeah, what you were saying is I is that like a brand sponsorship? I don't know. But I had a local bakery. I reached out to them and I was like, "Hey, this was when I had 20,000 followers." So I honestly didn't think they were going to say anything, but you were the one that was just like, "You should send out like emails." I'm like, "Okay." Um and they offered to send me cookies to like eat on my live stream and like review and talk about, which was pretty cool. I've had a couple different people recently. One cool thing that happened is the manager of, I can't remember his name, the manager of a singer reached out to me and they were like, "Hey, this singer just released a new song. We want you to do a TikTok to it and
Oh,
like send it to
wow.
us," which was really cool. And then the other day I had a similar person reach out to me and say, "I manage this TikToker. We want you to hop on this trend and get it like more out there." So that's been exciting.
So
And
have you used that sound and have you done that trend, or are you going to do it?
yes, I put it out. I think I put it out a while ago. I think it has around 40,000 right now. So it wasn't one of my bigger ones. That was the one I was considering reposting because I'm like, I really like that one.
Yeah.
The one with the makeup my sister did for me with the half and half on each side of my face.
Oh yeah, I
So,
see that.
but I sent it to them and they really liked it. So that was good. They gave me all creative freedom for it. So,
That's awesome. So, um, I have a question. Like, do you feel, and it's okay to like say yes or no or be honest, but do you feel like a pressure at all, like to make your next video like better than your last video, or like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, do you
yeah,
feel
yeah, yeah.
a certain type of
Um,
way, or no?
Definitely, because I'm learning sort of what people like versus like what they don't like on my account. And it's like almost embarrassing when I'll post a video and it only gets a couple thousand and then people in the comments are like, "Well, aren't you going to continue that series that you just started?" I'm like, "Oh, I was kind of branching out," but it is a little bit of pressure because I'm like, I want everybody to like it and I don't want anyone to like unfollow me. And before it didn't matter because it was just for me, but now I'm like, oh, people are invested in this story. And what will happen is I'll put out a part one of something and people in the comments will give suggestions for how the story should go. And so if I don't follow like a certain person's suggestion, they're like, "Oh, it should have gone like this." So it's hard to please everybody with the storylines,
Right.
but I mean, I can't pick everybody's suggestions. So
Of course. And you obviously you can't please everybody, but just I mean, if you think about it, a comment is a comment and it's still
mm,
engagement on your video. So even if someone's like, "Oh, this didn't necessarily like," not that like, you know what I mean? Like they had a certain idea in mind, but them
yeah.
commenting that is still boosting the engagement on your video. So your
Mhm.
video is still getting pushed out to people, um, which is awesome. And so that's what a lot of people like, they comment on videos, circling back. That wasn't a hate comment, but circling back to some hate comments. I'm like, if you don't like
Yeah,
something, just keep scrolling. But in this case, it's different because they do like your content.
they're
Um,
invested, which is good. Like I want that.
so would you say like your following, like they're pretty active? Like when you go live and when you do things, are they pretty active on your account?
Yeah, especially more recently, I've had a lot more people joining in on my live streams, which has been very exciting. I have a lot of people who, especially because I do the series, I think that's really good for engagement because people are prompted to come back and check for the rest of the story, and that's helped me a bunch. Is that I'll go through and like people will say like this comment to remind me for part two, and if you go like it, they'll revisit your page, and I'll get a bunch more like engagement because of that. So that's really nice.
are there any other accounts that you follow that create similar content as you, or do you feel like the way that you have it and the way that you do it stands out from other accounts?
I do follow people who do stuff similar to me, and that's sort of why I started, is because I saw those accounts. I'm like, I want to do that. So it is in that same genre, but I think lots of my storylines stand out that people haven't seen before, unless I am following a trend, which I do sometimes. But I do have specific accounts that like are the ones that got me into this. And I'm like, I'm so grateful for you because now this is a part of my life. So I have some, do you want me to say like the ones that I'm thinking of?
If you want, sure.
Yeah. Well, there are two accounts in particular. There's this one girl who's her at is like it's just Jenna, and she does a bunch of POVs just like this, like that same kind of storyline stuff. And she's amazing, and I love her. Another one is Elle Kane, and she's amazing. And they're just very inspirational for me to make like cooler storylines because they're so original. So I'm like, I want to put out my own original stories and have people be invested in them as well.
Yeah. So I'm curious to know, what was your journey like with followers? Like the timeline, like how long roughly did it take you to get your first 1,000 followers compared to like the first 10,000?
So first 1000 took a long time because nobody was watching the videos. And so that one took like probably the greatest length of time. And then once I hit 10,000, it kind of just went up very quickly from, I think it was, because I only hit 20,000 like a week and a half ago, I think, like not that long ago. So I think the more followers you get, it just kind of like skyrockets up. It's getting started that took a long time. But even then, I've only had the account for a couple months. So I think it's gone like pretty fast, quicker than I ever would have thought it could have, I think.
Well, I remember I responded to your comment on June 26th, and right now it's July 14th. And your comment was like, oh, like your tips helped me go from 50 to 17,000 in less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Now you're at like, you went from 17,000 to you're at 79,000 right now. Like,
So
um,
it went so fast. It's always crazy when I like pick up my phone. I'm like, whoa, like that's a lot of people who are
yeah.
like,
So what, so 20,000, like you hit that really recently. Um,
mhm.
and like how many followers right now do you think you're gaining a day since?
um, it it depends on when I get like a viral video, but recently, the last 2 days, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, I gained like 10,000 in a day, which is not like normal. If on a not very good day, it's a couple thousand. Usually, it's about 5,000 a day, which is crazy.
Especially because like it did take a long time to get that first 1,000, and I think for any social media platform that you're on, getting that first like 100, 500, 1,000 is super hard. But I think once your account starts picking up, especially even for me, I've noticed once I hit roughly 10 to 20,000, that's when I started seeing like instant growth, like a
Yeah.
faster growth.
And it definitely depends on what videos do super well. Like, of course, the day after I get a video with 1 million, I get like a bunch more followers. So it very much depends on the day, but it picked up pretty quickly.
So that video that you posted just 2 days ago, it has 1.6 now. When we started talking, it had 1.5. So how long, it got 1 million in a day? Like how long did it take for that video to get 1 million?
Um, I posted it at around 11 o'clock in the morning. And then by the time I went to bed, it had 500,000. And then I woke up the next morning to 1 million. So
Oh,
it took probably about 24 hours.
that's insane. So I'm just curious, like, do you post, like, what times do you post? Do you post at the same times every day? Have you seen a difference in what works better for you?
Yeah, so usually it's around it's anywhere from like 11 o'clock to like 1 o'clock. So I usually post at like 11 because I want to go live in the next couple hours when my followers are still up. But recently it's been changing. I think I just checked today and one of my highest times was like 6 o'clock. So I'm not going to post at the same time every day. I want to post when the views is like highest.
So
But usually it's
11
in the
a.m. or
bars.
6 a.m.?
6 like p.m. So
Oh,
it'd be like 11 a.m. to like noon-ish, and then it goes down and then back up in the evening. So that's when I try to post, and it's
so you're
working pretty well.
during the daytime. That's awesome. Because I know some people like they post. There's some people that post at the same time every single day. There's some people that are mixing it up to see what works best for them. And I think that's good that you're checking your analytics and seeing, you know, what times perform well on your account. Um, on your analytics, I'm just curious, how many video views do you have in the last like 28 days versus the last 7 days?
Here, let me go to my like analytics real quick, because if I pull it up, so video views in the last 7 days is 3 million, 3.2 million, and then the last 28 days is almost 7 million.
That's so crazy. That is really crazy. I feel like
Yeah, that's wild. I haven't looked at that. It's like so small at first, and then it kind of just like shoots up. That's cool.
that is really cool. So, I know we kind of briefly mentioned it earlier, but you know, what I know you kind of said your friend's response, but like, what's your family's response to it? Are they on TikTok? Do they fully get it, or?
Yeah, so I have two sisters, and they're both on TikTok, so they like know what's going on, and they'll help me with stuff. And like, you know, my sister's usually with me on live streams, just like hang out with me. And then my parents get it now. I had to explain it to them at first. They'll be like, "You're posting what?" I'm like, "They're just little acting videos," and I had to show them a couple before they're like, "Oh, okay, like this is a thing." But now they get it, and now I update them every day, like on how it's going, because it's very exciting.
That's awesome. Do they like, are they overwhelmed or like excited about it? Like, you know, because I bet they didn't expect like, you know, you to have like millions of views.
No, they did not, and neither did I. So I think we're all very excited. I'm definitely more excited than anybody, but I feel like slightly overwhelmed sometimes, because like I will may spend a long time making videos or being on live stream, and it's like a lot of people are seeing me now, which is not like what used to happen. So
Yeah. And I'm curious, because I know you want to be an actress. Like, what? I know it's I know it's different right now with like social distancing, but what are your? Do you have like certain goals for the future at all?
So one of my main goals is I want to try to get an agent, because I think that would help me get into more professional things, because I've never done any professional acting. It's always been community or school or just stuff like that. So right now I'm just trying to audition for as much as I can, which isn't much because there's nothing happening.
Right.
But I do want to get an agent, and I would love to at one point be able to act professionally or be in anything. Like I want to do film really bad, because I've always done stage, and I was like, I want to like transfer over to being like, if I ever got to be in a movie, like that would be insane. You know, like that's like main goal is I want to be like in a movie or a TV show or something. That'd be
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, I think that could definitely happen for you. And we're in the middle of July right now, so I'm curious to know what if you like what do you have a certain like follow count that you would like to achieve by the end of 2020, or you kind of just whatever happens or a mixture of both?
Mm, by the end of 2020, I don't really have like a set goal. I was hoping like, I know I'm near 100K, which I'm like excited for because that's like a milestone. But after that, I'm just kind of going with the flow, because I don't want to try to expect, like if I have a follower goal and I don't meet it, I'll be disappointed in myself. So I'm kind of just trying to be like, oh, cool. Today I have this many, you know, not like psych myself out if I don't get a certain amount by a day.
I feel that for sure. And are you branching out to other platforms, or are you staying on TikTok?
I just recently, with the rumors of TikTok shutting down, has been when I really started thinking about it. I'm like, oh, I don't want to lose this. Like, I need to start cross promoting. So I've gotten a lot of people to my Instagram, but it's not the same kind of content there. Like, that's just my Instagram. And so I recently started a YouTube channel. It's the same thing right now where it's not the same sort of content. Right now I'm just focusing on getting a few videos up. But in the future I do want to put a lot of acting videos or longer acting skits and short movies and transfer that stuff onto YouTube, because I could also work on the directing, writing, production aspect of that with YouTube longer than I can with TikTok. So that's something I'm excited to do in the future.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So the, the news and the, the fear of TikTok possibly going away is what, intrigued you to do YouTube.
Yes.
So what videos have you posted on there so far?
On YouTube, I only have two right now because I started the account like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
On my live stream, I asked followers to send me in questions, and my first video was just a TikTok Q&A. My second video has nothing to do with anything. I wanted to show them my hedgehog, so I did a little video about my hedgehog, but so it's not nearly in the same niche, but I had to show him, he's adorable.
Well,
So
it's
yeah.
good to showcase, like it's good to show parts of your life and your personality with your audience. Not every single thing you create has to go into your niche.
Yeah, and I'm hoping in YouTube I'm definitely going to, especially as my TikTok followers go up and transfer to YouTube, I'm going to start doing acting. I'm hoping to do behind the scenes kind of stuff on YouTube as well. I think that'd be cool. Lots of people are asking for like, oh, acting tips and that kind of stuff. So I might start doing that as well.
That's cool. And I just went to go see, like, you've had your account for like, like you said, like 2 days, and you already have like almost 200 subscribers. Sometimes that takes people years to reach, which is really, really awesome. And just kind of like before we wrap things up, like how often are you posting a day? How often are you live streaming? And how often are you engaging back with your followers and your audience?
So I try to post 2 to 3 times a day. And before I was trying to do more, but when I was doing more, I realized my quality was going down. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus on a couple a day and just make sure quality's up a lot, and focus more on like figuring out what story I want to tell. And then I try to go live once a day, which was your suggestion, which has been fun because I have a lot of fun on my live streams. I think they're way exciting. So I do that purely because I'm entertained. So,
What
and
do
then,
you do on your live streams? I know I've joined a few of them, but people listening haven't been on your live streams.
yeah. So lots of my live streams are like people ask me questions, they'll send in ideas. We'll just kind of talk about like new video ideas that I have, or like what I'm doing in my personal life people are curious about as well. So I think that's a good chance for people to just get to know me more, because in my videos you don't, because I'm always playing a character. So when
Right.
you come on my live streams, it's like, oh, now you get to talk to like actually who I am instead of all the characters that I play, because none of the characters are like me at all.
Yeah.
So I love my live streams, and it's a chance for me to get to talk to them more. I've made a lot of good friends on there as well, so that's been fun.
Yeah. And if you guys are still listening, make sure you guys go follow Kenna Acting on TikTok, so you can join her live streams. And I know you briefly mentioned it earlier, but like in terms of like responding to comments, how often do you say you do that?
I try to respond to every comment that is actually like saying something. For example, like I don't always respond to ones saying like, oh, part 2, part 3. Like I'll respond to ones that are giving like feedback, or just I try to, because it's so sweet, and then they kind of freak out when I say something, which
Oh,
is weird because I'm like, it's just me, but some like 12-year-old girl is like, oh my goodness, she answered me. So I
yeah.
try to do as many as I can. It gets overwhelming at times because I'm like, there's no way I can respond to this many comments, but I try to do it quite often because I think it's fun. And
Yeah.
they're taking the time to comment on my videos. I'm like, that's so sweet. I want to talk to you.
Like if someone says, "Oh, I really like this video, like you're amazing," then you try your best. It can be overwhelming, especially when you have videos going viral consistently. But I think it's nice to have that element of responding when you can. Um, and I'm just curious to know because you post a lot of acting content and you like point of views and you follow a lot of accounts like that. Do you say that your For You page is a lot of the same things, or do you have various topics on your For You page?
My For You page is really a mix. I do get a lot of POV acting videos because I interact with those a lot. I have a lot of also comedy, and I also have a lot of dance videos as well. So it's a mix of like those three. So it can be very different. Like you're watching one person cry and then you swipe and it's some dumb comedy video, but it's
Yeah.
fun.
And circling back to the tap dancing, have you ever like done your tap dancing in a TikTok video as part of a character?
I
Or
have not, but that's a good idea. I should do that.
I know it's been a while since you said that you've done it, but I feel like I don't know, I can't dance at all, but I feel like that'd be cool to be
I
able to.
love dancing. See, it's because I do dancing for different musicals and stuff. So I should put out my tap floor and do a tap dancing video. I would
That
love
would be
that.
cool, mixing it up, for sure. Um, anyway, it was so nice to chat with you guys. Make sure, if you're not already, make sure you guys are following Kenna Acting on TikTok. And before we wrap up, do you have any last words to say to anyone?
Um, Thanks for checking out my account, guys. You're all so sweet. I love all 79,000 of you.